Hi, my name's Sophia, and we are talking about Picasso's Still Life Under a Lamp. It's a lino cut piece, very vibrant, using many qualities of art, but I'll focus on the usage of lines. Lino cut allows Picasso to carve the block, stripping away the background to reveal the image composed of bold shapes and lines. The black ink clings to the raised contours, revealing the bold colors underneath. This creates a graphic, monumental quality to the otherwise inanimate object. Fluidity is a big one, a series of curved lines rather than straight or geometric. It's characteristic of the soft cuts into the linoleum. It's used decoratively, especially in the background areas and around the forms of the fruit, glass, and lamp, giving the static piece an energetic, dancing sense of motion. Contour and abstraction. The lines, being the cuts, function as contour lines, defining the bold areas of flat color. Function of the line, contrast and shadow. Black lines used to contrast shapes with bright color, such as the lamp to the dark background. Decorative pattern, repeating rhythmic lines behind the focus of the lamp become highly decorative pattern, transforming the empty space into an active design element. My personal connection with the piece, I would say it reminded me of when my mom used to take me to Sweet Cece's as a kid. It's weird, but let me explain. So every week we had a behavior folder that they would take us to sign, and if it was good, we'd get to go. The lines in the background with that dancing motion reminded me of both the excitement as well as the music and the sound effects of the arcade games. And the focus of the lamp and the contrast to the dark background. The lamp kind of represented to me the good part at the end of the week. I would try my very hardest to not talk out in class because that was my issue, just so I could get my mac and cheese pizza every week. As well as the contrast reminded me that even though it was a cheap buffet chain that's now barely in business, I still had brighter things to focus on, and everyone's got a thing at the end of the day. Thanks.
My name is Rhea Dean, and I am a freshman here at Florida Atlantic University, majoring in business. My group chose the piece Still Life Under a Lamp by Picasso. This piece was created in 1962. The reason I chose lines as my element is because lines are the driving force behind its visual impact and underlying meaning. Rather than the lines being a sheer outline of the image, the lines move within the image with a sense of electric energy. The arches around the lamp resemble bursts of light or expanding waves, suggesting not only illumination but also the idea of vitality and intensity. These lines transform an ordinary still life setting into something dynamic and alive, implying that even simple objects can express meaning when viewed through a different lens. Even the fruit in the cup are constructed through bold, contour-heavy shapes, giving them weight and presence as if they carry symbolic importance. Each line choice, whether thick, curved, or repetitive, works to emphasize movement, energy, and emotional resonance. As a business major, the energetic, sweeping lines that radiate from the center resemble the fast-paced flow of information, ideas, and decisions that business students constantly navigate. Just as the artwork's composition balances different kinds of lines, a business major must learn to balance competing priorities like managing sources and coordinating teams. Looking at the lines as they outline and bolden everything in the image can be seen as a symbol of insight or strategic vision, something crucial to the business field. The interplay of the lines in this image also reflect how different components of a business must interact cohesively to create a thriving enterprise.
Hi, my name is Ella Deeks. I'm a freshman at Florida Atlantic University, and this is a video for Art Appreciation Group 7. My group and I chose the artwork Still Life Under a Lamp by Pablo Picasso from the Cleveland Museum of Art. It is a 52 by 63 centimeter painting made in Spain during the 20th century. We chose this specific artwork because it is what stood out the most to us all. An element I've chosen to identify from this artwork is space. Space refers to the area around, between, and within objects in a composition. As you can see in this artwork, Pablo Picasso created patterns and shapes to be closer together and seem tightly packed towards the light of the lamp, whereas towards the darker areas of the artwork, the spacing between patterns become further apart. From what I can infer, I feel this is a resemblance of people wanting to come together closely in the light of happiness, rather than in the darker days, which are the darker sections of the painting. People are more distant from each other, but still like to be clearly together. This reflects into my life because naturally I feel that during happier days, I like to surround myself more with people and feel the light of day. Compared to the times where I can maybe feel a bit down, I tend to distance myself from one another but still remain in contact with the close ones.
Hi guys, my name is Avery Crump and I'm an international business major at Florida Atlantic University. We chose Pablo Picasso's piece, Still Life Under the Lamp, which immediately stood out to all of us because it felt the most bold and unique. This is a 52 by 63 centimeter painting that is held in the Cleveland Museum of Art. The formal element I'll be talking about is shape and texture, and in general, shape refers to two-dimensional areas created by lines or an edge, and texture describes how a surface appears to look or feel, whether it's smooth, rough, patterned, or layered. In Still Life Under the Lamp, Picasso uses bold, exaggerated shapes to define the objects on the table, such as the fruit and the glass goblet. Instead of outlines, he used sharp curves to make the objects have a dynamic feel, and the carved lines around the lamp create a texture effect that makes the light feel like it's radiating outwards. These textures give the piece a sense of movement, almost as if the painting is alive. I connect to this piece because its intensity reminds me of how chaotic and fast-moving college can be as a full-time student, balancing school, work, extracurriculars, and at the same time, staying on track with your future goals. The swirls and bold shapes help represent the pressure, but also creativity that comes with the journey. And this reminds me that even when things can get overwhelming, there is beauty in the process and challenge. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Dominic Davis. I'm a freshman at FAU, and the art piece my group chose was A Still Life Under a Lamp by Picasso that he made in 1962. It was a lino cut print. The size was about 53 by 64 centimeters. Why my group chose this art piece is because we thought it was the one that just stuck out the most to us with the colors, the spacing, just all of it, really. We looked at all the art elements and we thought, hey, this one's the coolest. The art element I chose for this art piece was space. The art element space is used a lot throughout this art piece by Picasso. The art piece Picasso made was he created a scene of simple everyday objects like pieces of fruit, a glass goblet, and the light of a lamp. Picasso used the art element space to clearly show a contrast of light and shadows in art. He used all of the lighter colors and the spacing under the lamp of the light, and then all the colors away from the lamp, like outside of the lamp where the lamp wouldn't shine, were darker colors of green and red, or they were just straight shadows. How this piece of art connects to my life is that I've had a lot of friends that I've met throughout my life where everything looks like it's going good and things are steady and still and calm in the light, but then once you get into outside of the light, like outside of school or outside of church or just outside of spaces where people are being examined pretty much, it's not all what it seems. Like some of those things are completely absent, like how in the picture under the light everything seems good still, but then when the light isn't shown, it's just complete empty darkness. And I think Picasso did a great job kind of showing that in his art piece, because when I first looked at it, I thought, you know, how in the world does this connect to my life? But then I really found how it does, you know, and that was it.